This little girl was in danger. She had gone to a sports event with her father. Suddenly, gunfire erupted. She lost her grip on her father's hand and collapsed. A bullet had struck her chest. Her shirt quickly became soaked in blood. Her father called her name in panic, but she did not respond. Without wasting a second, he rushed her to the hospital. The doctors took her inside, prepared for surgery, and told him to wait outside. But how could a father simply wait? He stepped inside and saw the doctors placing her on a stretcher in the hallway, using cloth to slow the bleeding. They explained helplessly that the hospital was overcrowded and no operating rooms were available. Tragically, the little girl died at just 8 years old. When her mother heard the news, she rushed to the hospital. The parents embraced each other in unbearable grief. Her death was not random. Someone wanted revenge on her father. Her father swore he would avenge his daughter. The tragedy began with Sandro, a senior Brazilian officer who had embezzled 200 million lyre. The girl's father, Officer Miguel, had personally arrested him. However, the police chief had been bribed, and due to so-called lack of evidence, Sandro was released. Enraged, Sandro ordered an attack on Miguel's daughter. Corrupt officials had also stolen funds meant for hospitals, leaving the facility without proper surgical capacity. Miguel's daughter died because she did not receive timely treatment. After his release, Sandro boldly held a press conference and announced his campaign for the Brazilian presidency. Hundreds of protesters gathered, holding banners and demanding justice. Miguel, wearing a hooded jacket, blended into the crowd with one goal in mind. He was ready to sacrifice his own life to take revenge. Before he could act, officers guarding Sandro beat him in the street. Amid the chaos, a masked man in the crowd hurled a Molotov cocktail into the conference building, sparking a massive fire. The crowd erupted into riots. Police launched tear gas to regain control. In that moment, a gas mask landed near Miguel's feet. He quickly put it on. His eyes burned with rage as he charged forward. Driven by vengeance, he overpowered the officers in his path. He grabbed a weapon, leaped forward, and used the chaos around him to push ahead. With fierce determination, he climbed the stone pillars of the conference building. He reached the rooftop. Miguel shattered a window and entered the building. He moved swiftly toward Sandro's office, taking down 2 guards along the way. Hearing the gunshots, Sandro panicked and hid beneath his desk. Miguel kicked the door open. He seized Sandro by the collar and dragged him out. Sandro was so terrified that he lost control of himself and stammered, "Did someone pay you to kill me? I will pay you 10 times more. Just let me go." Miguel remained silent. He struck Sandro hard across the face, sending him crashing against the desk. Then he lunged forward and unleashed a brutal series of punches. Blow after blow landed on Sandro's head, breaking his nose and jaw. Blood poured from Sandro's mouth as he collapsed. The final odor left him lifeless on the floor. Miguel, wounded during the fight, returned to his hidden shelter. He heated a needle with a lighter to sterilize it. After taking a sip of strong alcohol to dull the pain, he stitched his own wounds. The next day, news of Sandro's death spread everywhere. Security cameras had recorded the incident. However, Miguel's identity remained concealed because he had been wearing a mask. Police arrested several protest leaders from the previous night. Among them was a short-haired woman who recognized Miguel as the masked man, and Miguel recognized her as well. During questioning, Miguel discovered that the woman was actually a hacker working undercover as a store clerk. She secretly wrote down a set of numbers that allowed him to unlock his phone and access a specific video. She also revealed that she had created multiple copies of the footage. Troubled by this information, Miguel went to the evidence room and located Na's phone. Inside, he found clear video footage showing him wearing the mask. Na confronted him. With no other option, Miguel insisted on his innocence and managed to secure his release. Although Sandro was dead, he had only been a pawn. The true architects of the corruption were among Brazil's wealthiest elites. They held powerful positions in politics, law, and business, controlling key parts of the country. Knowing this, Miguel contacted Na and asked for her help. He requested that she hack into the computers of the 6 main leaders and gather documents exposing them. In return, he promised to help free her mother from prison once the mission was complete. She agreed without hesitation. With the documents in his possession, Miguel returned to his hideout. He put on his mask, prepared his weapons. The hunt had begun. His first target was the mayor. Miguel confronted him inside a high-rise building and forced him from the 100th floor, sending him plunging to his death. The next target was a senior justice official. Miguel quietly entered his vehicle and shot him at close range. The third target was a congressman. He had been counting stacks of stolen money with a greedy smile. That smile disappeared the moment Miguel shot him between the eyes, leaving him lifeless among piles of cash. The fourth target was a powerful businessman. From a building nearly 300 meters away, Miguel assembled an M82 sniper rifle. As the man moved inside his home, Miguel fired through the window, killing him instantly. The fifth target was a bar owner. He was naked and celebrating staying with an escort. In the middle of his indulgence, a single bullet pierced his head, ending his life immediately. 5 men known for their corruption were killed. In a single night, the city was shaken. People began calling the masked vigilante the Awakener. He quickly became a symbol of justice and honesty. Only one of the 6 ringleaders remained. His name was Anto, a powerful Brazilian tycoon. The next night, Miguel went to Anto's mansion. There, he saw Anto arguing with his son beside the swimming pool. Anto wanted his son to run for president. His son refused, choosing a life of comfort and luxury instead. Taking advantage of the distraction, Miguel fired a shot, but Anto's son pushed his father aside. The bullet struck the son, killing him instantly. Furious and heartbroken, Anto ordered his top assassin to hunt down the Awakener. The assassin first went to Na's store. When Nana was not there, he killed her boss as a warning. When Nana returned and saw what had happened, she was devastated. She realized her boss had died in her place. She rushed to Miguel's hideout to warn him, but it was already too late. The assassin and his team had broken in. Miguel fought them off with gunfire, giving Nina time to escape. He removed his mask, changed his appearance, and hid in the bathroom. A mercenary entered. Miguel struck him with a sudden kick. A second kick knocked him down. A third strike sent his weapon flying. The mercenary pulled out a knife and attacked. Miguel grabbed his wrist, disarmed him, and twisted his arm until the joint snapped. He then kicked him into a sewage pit. The mercenary tried to climb back out and lunged again. Miguel picked up a gun and shot him dead. Meanwhile, the assassin captured Nana as she tried to escape through the back door. Miguel aimed at the assassin and demanded that he release her. The assassin refused and used her as leverage. He forced Miguel into a terrible choice. Miguel was ordered to eliminate Anto's rival in the upcoming presidential election. For Anto, power mattered more than his own son's life. With no other option, Miguel reluctantly agreed. A few days later, the rival candidate's official campaign event began. Miguel descended from the rooftop. He knocked out a police officer and slipped in through the back entrance. Moving behind the stage, he assembled his weapon and aimed at the woman speaking on stage. Just as he was about to pull the trigger, his former partner Adu intervened and stopped him. The two began fighting on the narrow staircase behind the stage. Miguel pushed Adu back and tried to regain control. He blocked Adu's strike and prepared to counterattack. For a brief second, he hesitated. Adu took advantage of that moment and struck Miguel on the head. He followed with 3 heavy punches and another blow. Then Adu pulled out his gun and aimed it directly at Miguel. Suddenly, Miguel kicked Adu, knocking the weapon from his hand. In one swift motion, Miguel drew his own gun and aimed back at him. The 2 men stood face to face, their guns aimed at each other. Finally, Adu spoke. "Now can you take off your mask, Miguel?" It turned out that someone had informed the police about the fight at the hideout the previous night. Adu had discovered the small radio Miguel's daughter used to carry. From that clue, he realized that Miguel was the Awakener. Miguel slowly removed his mask. Adu scolded him, saying his actions made him no better than the corrupt officials they were fighting. "Do not let evil consume you and turn you into a murderer," Adu warned. Miguel responded with anger. "Tell me, Adu, why did we become police officers? To uphold the law, right?" He grew even more furious. "Uphold the law? Is that what you did? Those corrupt officials are still walking free." Adu avoided the question and aimed his gun at Miguel's head. "Think about your daughter. Killing them will not bring her back." Without another word, Miguel pulled the trigger. The live broadcast cut off instantly. The mastermind watching the stream immediately called Miguel to confirm whether the mission had been completed. Meanwhile, Nana seized her chance to escape. She grabbed a broken light bulb and stabbed the assassin in the stomach. During the struggle, she accidentally fired his gun. The assassin was killed on the spot. Miguel was later arrested, not for attempting to kill the woman on stage, but for being the masked vigilante known as the Awakener. During this time, Antaro used his influence and powerful connections to secure the presidency. Later, a police officer escorted Miguel to an interrogation room. The police chief had secretly ordered the officer to eliminate him. In exchange for Antaro's political support, the chief had agreed to remove Miguel as a future threat. The officer assigned to the task was ruthless. He held a gun in one hand and pressed his foot against Miguel's waist. In a swift move, Miguel looped his handcuffs around the officer's neck. He struck the gun away with his knee. Then he pulled tight on the cuffs, strangling the officer and ending the fight quickly. Miguel stole weapons from the station and put on his familiar mask once again. Alone, he entered the underground parking area of the presidential building. He swiftly eliminated 2 guards. From the upper level, he lowered himself by hooking his legs around a ceiling beam and took down another guard. Then he charged down the hallway with a gun in each hand. Antaro panicked. The wine bottle slipped from his hand and shattered on the floor. He ordered his secretary to lock the door to trap Miguel outside. At that very moment, Miguel fired through the door, killing the secretary. When he pushed the door open, Antaro shot him, hitting his chest and shoulder. Despite his wounds, Miguel continued moving forward toward Antaro, relentless and unstoppable. When Antaro ran out of bullets, he cursed Miguel for being so stubborn while desperately trying to reload his weapon. Miguel remained silent. He slowly removed his mask and fired a single shot straight between Antaro's eyes. At that moment, more than 20 guards rushed in behind him. Miguel calmly pulled out a detonator. Without hesitation, he pressed the button. A massive explosion tore through the the presidential building, reducing it to ruins. The next day, firefighters searched through the wreckage. All they found was a mask lying among the debris. There was no sign of Miguel's body. It seemed he had survived and disappeared once again. The story ends there. Do you believe Miguel crossed the line, or did he become the justice the system failed to deliver? If you think his actions were justified, comment justice. If you think he went too far, comment revenge. Or tell me this instead. In Miguel's place, what would you have done? I'm reading every comment. Miguel's integrity ultimately led to the tragic loss of his daughter. Corruption and bribery had stripped the hospital of the resources needed to save her life. With less greed and more compassion, this tragedy might have been prevented. That is how the film concludes. Which movie would you like me to explain next? Let me know in the comments section below.